All right, man. It is that time. Actually, it's even better time. It's a special time. It's pay-per-view time, man. So, very special episode of us reviewing the great show Double or Nothing on what show, Lionel?
Where are we? We are on this week's episode of Off the Top Rope.
Oh yeah.
What a show. What a show.
Yeah. Top to bottom. From the pre-show to the end of the show.
We're gonna talk about the pay-per-view. If you are not used to our pay-per-view shows, we don't talk about the weekly shows like we normally do. We normally stick with the entire pay-per-view. And we kind of talk about it out of order. We usually talk about the main event first, then we kind of just go where we're gonna go. We are gonna do that. But Profit, I have to ask you a question because I've seen it running around now. This is the day after Double or Nothing. It's Memorial Day.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to everyone
Yep.
for Memorial Day. Prayers to everyone out there who lost someone in service. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done for us. But I have a question that I have to ask you that's been running around on Blue Sky.
Oh man, if this is a question I'm thinking of, I'm gonna go in. Go for it.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Where do you think we're about 20 some hours after past Double or Nothing? Where do you think this Double or Nothing ranks in pay-per-view history for AEW?
Oh man, that's that's a tough one.
Right? Right? There are a lot of conversations, so I'm gonna let you think about it for a second. I'm
Yeah.
gonna let you know what people are saying. Some people are saying this is the top 3 show. Some people are saying this is the top 5 show of all time, by the way, of any AEW pay-per-view. Some people
Mhm.
have gone as far to say that this is the best AEW pay-per-view that has ever happened to this date.
Yeah. I could see all the arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I want to say I'll say for sure it's in the top 10. Like that's without a doubt, right?
Yeah, that's easy.
We're in the top 10 because poof. I would say, in my opinion, now let me think of all the ones that would be ahead of it first
I can,
before I like before I can before I say what spot I would put it
I I've been thinking about it since I saw it on Blue Sky because people it was like an
in.
immediate reaction. I was like, ooh, I don't know about immediate. Like that's it's very easy to say that because it was a fantastic pay per view, right? And then
Yeah.
I didn't really sleep well last night, right? I was thinking
Mhm.
about the pay per view. I was thinking about all the implications that were happening from the pay per view. Then I woke up this morning and I had the urge to rewatch the pay per view.
Yeah.
Um, for me, that doesn't happen very often. Like I rewatch pay per views all the time. I rewatch stuff all the time, but I usually don't get the urge to watch something the day after. The only time I've had that this year was Sinners. I went to go see Sinners twice in 12 hours. But I also think that's the best movie that has come out this year, and low key the best
Yeah.
movie that has come out since like 2020.
Right.
So when I think about Double or Nothing, I think the only show that I can put ahead of it is Revolution Sting's retirement.
Hmm.
That's the only show I can think of immediately that I'm like, yeah, that show might be better. But there were like a couple of annoying points in that Revolution.
Right. Right. That's where it gets. So a lot of times, like that's why I'm trying to think of the shows, and that's where like a lot of them get hung up. Like if we're gonna talk about from top to bottom, even like from the pre-show to the end of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. You can easily make an argument that this year's Double or Nothing is either the first or the second best show, like all time AEW. You could easily make the argument because the only thing I would put above that is what was it when Danielson swerve all all, all in
All in last year.
yeah all in last year.
Mm-hmm. Also, very good show.
That's about the only thing I can put ahead of it.
It's an interesting conversation, right? I think Double Nothing this cements itself in top 3 for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure. This definitely was. I think this is also the only pay per view I can remember from AEW that was top to bottom. Everything hit.
Mm-hmm.
I can think every other pay per view I can think of. There's at least one match that I was like, oh, this is all right. Like this is okay. But I actively enjoyed every single match. It even that one that got put in the worst spot ever, Paragon versus Don Callis family. I enjoyed that match also.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Okay, if it was put anywhere else, it would still be great, right? It would have been a great match, no matter what. But it got put. Whoever got put in that spot was screwed. It didn't matter, right? Like I remember Mercedes. There was a Mercedes match that got put. I think it was like put like right after like Ospreay and Ospreay and fuck, I forget who it was. It was Ospreay and somebody that started the show, and then Mercedes was like right after that, and they got screwed because that Ospreay match was so ridiculous.
You talk about Ospreay MJF, possibly.
Possibly, I think so. That match was way better than anyone would have thought it would have been. But yeah, like whoever was in that spot after Anarchy in the arena, how insane that was. They were the cooler match before the main event.
Literally, everyone forgot that this match was going to happen.
Yep,
literally, everyone forgot. And it's crazy because in the match, Takeshita, we're not going to talk about the match right now. We'll get there later. But it had Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher in the match. It also had Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. That was your cooler match, quote unquote.
That was the quote unquote cooler match. The calm people down before the main event. Are you kidding me?
Which is insane because the match is also really good.
Yeah, if you watch that match right now without watching Anarchy in the arena again, right? Just watch that match on its own. It's a great match.
God bless. But yeah, this there was no misses on this pay-per-view. I think that easily makes it top 3. And yeah, I think we gotta get it right into it, right? We have to.
Yeah.
And, like I said, we usually talk about the main event first, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We are first going to talk about the Owen Hart Cup men's final. Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay.
Whew, man, what a war!
In the ring, on Blue Sky, in the crowd, it was a war. It was AEW Civil War. People had been going crazy about this match beforehand. Everyone said, "Oh, Team Ospreay, Team Hangman. Oh, we're doing this." There were some people who were starting to take like actual shots at people. Like people were getting angry, like actually angry, if you disagreed with who they thought was gonna win. It was getting crazy.
Yeah. Well, shit. We'll talk about it later, but there was one that happened after the Mercedes Hayter match.
Oh yeah, that was another 50-50 one also.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not gonna break down this match, but Proffitt, you and I will talk about some of our favorite moments throughout it, and then we'll talk about the aftermath.
Yeah.
So personally, one of my favorite moments that I have to talk about immediately is the Styles Clash off the apron that Ospreay did to Hangman.
Ooh. Oh my god.
It looked like Hangman got planted. I was like, oh shit, I think Hangman might be dead. He might have died.
Well, it looked like Hangman got planted, and it looked like Ospreay fucked up his knee there. It just looked like it just went all kinds of wrong.
Bro, it looked awful in the best ways.
It just looked raw. It looked, you know, it looked raw and like almost like one of those like unplanned things, like a purposeful mess up or stuff like that. Probably wasn't a purposeful mess up, but you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm saying.
That's what people were saying with when Hangman tried to do the BME, the best moonsault ever, when he like jumped and then like kind of like stopped for a second.
Yep.
People saying that was like a purposeful mess up, and knowing Hangman, I would not doubt it. That motherfucker tells stories.
Yep. Oh man, look. One of my favorites is when he was speaking of Hangman doing Christopher Daniels moves.
Mm-hmm.
When he planted Ospreay with the fallen angel.
Oh yeah, the Angel's Wings.
Angel's wings, yeah, it's Angel's wings.
I'll never forget how Hangman did to MJF. But yeah, go on, go off.
Oh, the one he did to MJF, and MJF's got planted, dude.
He ain't wrestled since.
MJF is like, nah, fuck this wrestling shit. I need the Hurt Syndicate to help me get through.
Oh, it's Hangman's fault. It's Hangman's fault. Oh my god.
But there's that story, after we talk about this. But yeah, like he planted him with that. That shit was like, I was like, man, Hangman, you just need to just make that one of your 3 finishes, man. You do that shit so good.
Honestly, at this point, yeah. God, what else can we... There's a lot of things we can talk about the match. We could talk about like the story of the match in general. There was a lot. The crowd was split 50-50 for a majority of the match. Ospreay started to get a little angry and started to get a little frustrated near like the later middle part of the match. And he started he took Hangman's head and started bashing his head into the announce table. And I was like, oh shit, he's doing what he did to Okada. Or not Okada, to Omega.
Yeah.
It's getting real bad. He's getting frustrated. And I saw people start booing him. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And then I saw people saying like, oh, he's turning heels. Like, no, that's not what's happening.
Nope.
Yeah, please pay attention to the show. That's not what he's doing. And then when they got up on the Spanish announce table and it cracked under them when Hangman was about to hit him with the Deadeye, bro, I freaked out. I was like, oh my god. Fucking Ospreay scolded himself. It's gonna be bad. This is gonna be awful. Thankfully, nothing bad happened there either. But Lord have mercy.
Oh man. So one of my other favorite points of the match was they were exchanging shots, right? And Hangman walked Ospreay all the way to the corner every time Ospreay was hitting him. And he's giving him that look, is that all you got? He just said, that's what he kept telling him. He's like, is that all you got? Is that all you got? And Ospreay was nailing him, dude. And Hangman was not affected. He didn't give a shit.
Bro, that goes along with the story of the match so well, because there were a lot of points. Like the point that you mentioned. Because every time Hangman would throw a shot at Ospreay looked like he died.
Yeah.
And bro, Ospreay, if you can't handle shots from Hangman, you're not gonna be able to handle them from Moxley.
Oh no, he ain't gonna handle Mox.
And you could tell, like there was definitely like a difference in how Hangman had took this match and how Ospreay did. And even now that we're really talking about it, it even led up through the promos, because Ospreay was all about saying that it was his time, it's his ascension, he's the best in the world, this is what he's gonna do. This is the people he's beaten and stuff like that, right? And Hangman was like, look, I'm a fucked up person, so I need this for my family.
The family man always wins.
Family man always wins. And that's why, like, Hangman he did not look flustered throughout the entire match. There was one point that I remember, it's like early in the match, where he was like leaning on the rope, and he was just like taking in the crowd cheering for him because he's like, oh my god, they really are behind me. Like, they really are behind me. And it was at that point, for me, I was like, oh shit, Heyman's gonna win. And
Well,
oh, go ahead.
no, I'm gonna say I got to the point where, when they did the promo battle on Dynamite, I was like, Hangman's winning.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely Hangman definitely had like more motivation than Ospreay did, right?
Yeah.
It just Ospreay had a good motivation, right? He wants to be the best, right?
Yeah.
But at this point, we're gonna, you know what? Before we get into like the psychology and us breaking down the story, we gotta say, your winner of the Owen Hart Cup and who will face Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, the Men's World Heavyweight Championship at All In, July 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman Adam Page. Hangman was able to beat Ospreay with a buckshot lariat.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, we didn't even talk about Hangman doing the JML driver, the big pressure. We didn't talk about Ospreay doing the V trigger and trying to do a one wing angel. Like, there's so many things that we didn't talk about from this match. That tells you how good this match was.
Yeah, man. Like they got to the point where they were both like, "Hey, my shit doesn't work. Let me try somebody else's."
my own arch enemy. I'm gonna use his moves. Both of them said it.
Yep.
It just was an incredible match. Hangman did win. So thankfully we don't have to hear the Hangman fans bitching and complaining about Hangman losing.
Oof.
That's a win on my book. I'll take that.
But we're gonna get. See, there's two things in the world that you sometimes don't want, but it kind of has to happen. One is Hangman winning, and two is the Knicks. The one you don't want is the Knicks winning.
Yeah.
That's me throwing basketball in there. Sorry, guys. Yeah. And fuck the Knicks. But
hey, they got that game thanks to Scott Foster. So yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Hangman wins. He will be facing Jon Moxley at All In. After the match, something very interesting that happened. Ospreay was in the middle of the ring, facing his hands, very sad that he had lost, because everyone had been saying that this was Ospreay's time, right? Ospreay thought that this was Ospreay's time. It was not. And in a parallel to what happened at the end of Hangman's match with Swerve, Hangman walks to the ring. The crowd is cheering him on. He gets into the ring, and he extends his hand out to shake Will Ospreay's hand. Will Ospreay does accept that, and we end with a pseudo, I'm not going to say redeem, because redeem's not the right word, because there's more stuff that Hangman has to do to redeem himself. But Hangman is in a better place than he was at the end of him and Swerve. Because, again, the parallel. When he tried to walk back after beating Swerve in that unsanctioned steel cage match, the crowd was screaming in horror. Like, the crowd was afraid of what Hangman was going to do to Swerve after the match. We are long gone from there. Hangman is now starting to become the man he used to be. And he is going to be the man that saves AEW from the Death Riders. What are your thoughts on the match before we get into... we got to talk about Ospreay also, but what are your thoughts on the match and Hangman winning?
So my thoughts on the match are, you couldn't have made a better match for the card, especially, man, after all the insane matches, it ended with one of the best, pro wrestling matches that we've had in a while. And I'm not saying an entertainment match. I'm talking a real pro wrestling match. That's what this was. It was a match that had everything. Um, and Hangman winning is just hindsight is 2020, but you look at it now and it's like it's almost like the Hangman story was always not always, but it was going to lead up to this point some way somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way than him possibly defeating Moxley with the help of people he's made enemies in the past, but has to team up and make friends with in order to beat the Death Riders. Because we're going to get to that point where Hangman has got to join forces with Swerve. Actually, we're getting to that real soon. We're going to see that sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah.
And he has to join Swerve, Ospreay, I don't know about the trios guys, the ops, because they might have their own thing going on. We'll talk about that when we get to their match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Willow's the neutralizer. But Willow might have her own problem with Chris Stat, but there's so many things going on. But he's got to make it somewhat. I'm not saying make it right with Swerve, but he has to be able to have Swerve have. He has to have Swerve have his back when going against the Death Riders.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, we'll bring up that point when we get to Anarchy in the Arena. But it is very interesting about who Swerve was facing tonight. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Now, a majority of the planet assumed Ospreay would be winning this match.
Mm-hmm.
Ospreay did not win this match.
Nope.
What are next steps for Ospreay?
I think so. They're not going to do a Don Callis feud or anything like that, right?
I
think he's jumping right in with Hangman to fight the Death Riders. I think that's where it's going, and I think Jay White's going to return sooner rather than later. At some point, we're getting Jay White back.
Man, I hope so.
And he's also not done with the Death Riders. He was fighting them all by himself. So he's probably going to join in too whenever he gets back.
Remember, before Jay White hurt his wrist or whatever injury he has, people were saying, well, not people. He was kind of alluding to him hitting Adam Copeland on purpose with the briefcase.
Yeah.
So we don't know where his head is at, and he's had time to be away because of his injury. So we'll see where he comes. Mm-hmm. But it definitely feels like it was just a broken wrist, right? So it doesn't take a long time to come back from a broken wrist usually.
Yeah, it's not like fucking up your leg
no.
where you have to run and do all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So he'll probably be back sooner rather than later. Yeah, I think Ospreay joins in the fight against the Death Riders. Because he even said during this promo, hey, even if I lose, I'll help you take them out. It's just who else is going to step up with them is the question.
I feel like I don't like to use the word redemption a lot because that's being rightfully used with Hangman's story, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah. Ospreay has lost a lot of really big matches and a lot of really big moments in AEW. Mm-hmm. He lost to Swerve at Forbidden Door.
Yep.
He lost to Hangman. He lost to Okada for the Continental Classic final.
Mm-hmm.
Ospreay gets to the point where he's almost right there, but then fails. So Ospreay's also gonna have to reassess something in his self. He's gonna have to figure out why he loses in these big moments. And I think that's where the story's going to go with him also. He's going to be doing his own thing with the Death Riders too, for sure, right? He's going to be there to help Hangman for sure. But he's going to have to deal with some things on his own. He's going to have to deal with some demon. And he's going to have a match at All In. He's going to. There's no way he's not going to. It's just about who.
Who does that remind you of, though?
Who?
Ospreay. Kept getting to the big moments, but fell short every time.
Oh, that hanger.
Yep. He's following the hangman path to a T.
I mean, he gonna fight somebody at All In. Uh,
Of course.
I don't think he's gonna like lose his confidence. I don't think we're gonna go that far with Ospreay, but Ospreay's really gonna have to reassess how this was, because this was his shot, right? Everyone just felt like he was gonna be winning here, and he failed another opportunity to get towards the world championship again.
Yeah, but if you go back, right? If you go back to Ospreay versus Swerve, Swerve was like, "You're not ready for this belt yet," because he started listing down the reasons why. Um, he kept saying he had a lot to learn, and there was something else he said too. But every time Ospreay has gotten to a point, like big match point, he fails because of that reason. Either he overlooks, he gets too confident, something happens, and he has the match in the palm of his hands and then loses it because of either a miscalculation or something in his psyche. He's not. I think Swerve said something like he's not willing to let go of something. I gotta rewatch this stuff, but it was something along the lines of Swerve was like, "Hey, I sacrificed everything." He's like, "You can't keep everything and try to be world champion. You're gonna have to sacrifice." And Ospreay is not willing to sacrifice anything. So once the Ospreay finally sacrifices something, he'll become world champ. What it is, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what he's gonna have to sacrifice?
What's that?
That hubris.
Mm-hmm.
You can't call yourself the best wrestler in the world. At least not in AEW. You can't do it. Look, this is now. Listen, you speak. It made me think about this. Anyone who calls themselves the best in AEW, what happens to them?
It doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out in their favor, right?
No.
And I'm not saying that AEW is doing this on purpose, because I'm pretty sure they're not. But now it's just connecting dots, because it's not just the two people that it's not just Ospreay, not just the other person that you're thinking about. There are a lot of people that call themselves the best. MJF called himself the best. Look what happened to him. He fell apart at the end of 2023. Right? To an extent, Adam Cole also called himself the best, and he was not storyline related. He was out for a very long time. Kenny Omega called himself the best, out for a long time. Now he is him call himself the best. He corrupted himself to be the AEW World Champion and belt collector, and then lost everything.
And then lost everything. Yeah.
So there are a lot of people who call themselves the best, and that hubris ends up hurting them. And again, like I said, I don't think AEW is doing this on purpose. I don't. No. I think this is this is my headcanon ass of headcanon ass bullshit. It like for sure. But Ospreay's definitely gonna have to lose that to gain the world championship. When that's gonna happen, I mean, it's a matter of time. Look, Ospreay's not gonna be denied world. Like, if you think Ospreay's not gonna be AEW world champion, you are smoking something.
Yeah, you're out of your goddamn mind.
He will be by the end of 2026. He will have held the world championship at least one time. By the end of 2026,
I already see multiple. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
So we're gonna find out that story, and I think that story starts here, because now that Ospreay lost here, he's really gonna have to figure out what happened with himself and what caused him to lose. Because I'm not saying he had like a majority of the control of the match, because he didn't. But he was dishing out the worst offense. Like, he was trying to beat the shit out of Hangman. And Hangman, I mean, despite the fact that Hangman threw some shit out there also, Hangman stuck to his own guns for the most part until, calling out Swerve, which we're going to have to talk about that on Wednesday. We're going to have to.
Yeah.
But there's something there, I think. So whatever Ospreay does next, we're gonna find out on Wednesday. But yeah, we're gonna see an Ospreay masterclass, and we're about to see probably one of the best lead ups to a world title match that we've ever seen between Hangman and Jon Moxley. Because those two are about to go ridiculous.
Man, I feel sorry for all the Death Riders. Hangman ain't playing, dude. He's not playing.
I wonder, because he softened up by the end of that match. So I wonder if he's still gonna try to keep that killer edge that he used to have. I don't think he is. I don't think he's gonna be the Christopher Daniels retirer anymore. He's gonna be softer.
This is the one time where he has to.
Exactly, and that's what's gonna be so interesting about this. He has to keep that edge while also still trying to keep himself Hangman. And I wonder how they're gonna like balance that, because you can't just walk on Moxley and just be all right, because that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to be that killer. You're gonna have to be the Christopher Daniels retirer to take that title from Moxley.
But it will be. Actually, I'm thinking about it. It'll be easy to get him in that state, because the one thing, Hangman, if you fuck with something, that is in Hangman's universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll go to the ends of the earth and follow you until you're destroyed. Yeah. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be something later on where the Death Riders fuck with like Christopher Daniels or something. And he has, like the retired Punisher, he has to put back on the thing and, become that guy again.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because with the Death Rider loss also now and the Hangman win, we're in a very, very different place. The Death Riders aren't just on top right now. They just lost. Technically Moxley lost his first pay-per-view match since really being back. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll get there. It was interesting.
Yeah, the Moxley situation is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to our next match,
mm-hmm.
I have one thing to say.
Uh-huh.
Or actually, one little thing to bring up.
Okay.
Your Darby fans.
Oh yeah, we do have to talk about that. We have to talk about that. Just
y'all motherfuckers need to shut up.
I go ahead, cause go.
Yeah, because okay, it's not going to be like Darby's not getting the title. Okay, I hate to break it to you, he's not getting it.
Not right now.
He's just not.
No,
not right now. Maybe sometime way later. Hell, I'll even go and say Ospreay will get it before Darby. Okay, it's not going to be Hangman winning and then Darby getting his shot and then getting the title. It's not going to work like that. Hangman's going to have a good run. It's not going to be Darby that dethrones him. I'm sorry. There's too many other stories leading up to that. Darby's going to be messing with the Death Riders, probably. That's what's going to probably happen. So, chill out, guys. I know you guys are fans of Darby, but he's not getting that world title anytime soon.
It's the parasocial Darby fans who are like, oh yeah, it's going to be easy for Hangman to lose here. Or some of them were even saying Hangman should put up his shot at the world title against Darby. It's no. Listen, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to be a lot harsher than Proffitt was. Proffitt was very nice about this. Darby is not world championship material right now. You might love him. You might enjoy him. He's great. He's very fun. He climbed Mount Everest and planted the AEW flag up there. Great. That does not equate to being world champion.
No.
Sorry. How can you see what Hangman did last night? And how can you not see the build between Hangman and Ospreay? And you say, oh, yeah, Hangman's going to lose and then we're going to get Darby. Why? Are you stupid or are you dumb? Come on. Leave Darby out of this right now. Darby might be one of the ones to help Hangman win the title.
Yep.
But Darby's not going to be winning the title himself from Jon Moxley.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go, guys. Because look, I think we've said it on the channel many times. We don't. Darby as world champion would not be great. You want a car crash every match? Like, you want this guy that can't beat anybody? Like, it's a car crash every match. He's getting literally thrown out and thrown through everything, and then barely comes from behind and wins. You want that as your world champion every time? Nah, I don't think so.
No. As much as I don't like using the word transitional champion, that's Darby. That's what Darby would be at best, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get an MJF type reign as with Darby as world champion. Like you just can't. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry.
No. There's no sorry about this. No, he's going to be exactly what what you said he was going to be.
Yep. Let it go. Do not. This is not Darby's time. This is not Darby's story. This is Hangman's story. We have literally, at this point now, we're using the 2 years that Hangman has been in the dirt to build himself up to be the hero of AEW once again. Because remember, please remember, when Hangman was having those promo battles with CM Punk, he said that he was trying to save the company from him. So Hangman has tried to be a savior before, also failed there. I don't know if they're going to be able to bring that up because, of the other person that was involved. But
yeah,
there is a long history with Hangman right now. And as much as I also did not pick Hangman to be Ospreay, this is the choice. This is the guy. This is the person that you put the world title on after not seeing it for almost a year. It's Hangman. It's always been Hangman. We just didn't see it until now. But yeah, man. Yeah, just thank you for bringing that up because they have been getting pretty annoying, especially in the lead up also. Like, oh yeah, Darby's gonna come back and he's gonna be at Double or Nothing. Darby, it takes longer than a week to climb down Mount Everest. What do you think Darby's gonna do? He's gonna magically just teleport to the bottom and then show up on Sunday? Come on.
Yeah. And there was a few other things I had to shatter people's dreams on. There wasn't going to be an Eddie Kingston there.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, Gabe Kidd's involved, so that means Eddie's gonna be here. Like, no, that's not what that means. It just means Gabe Kidd is involved. Like,
yep.
Yeah, so
Honorary Death Rider, he's involved.
Yeah,
that's it.
He said he's working. They said that he's working for Moxley. Like, that's what that is. We will not be talking about Anarchy Arena yet, though, because we have to talk about the other Owens Hart Cup final.
Man, another banger that started out the show.
We opened and we ended with Owen Hart Cup finals. This one that we're going to talk about now, though, is the Owen Hart Cup women's final. Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have like any like favorite parts of this match. I just really enjoyed. The main thing I want to say is Mercedes continues to give every woman that she's in the ring with her best match. And a lot of people keep on saying Mercedes can't wrestle. A lot of people keep on saying Mercedes isn't good. A lot of people accuse Mercedes of being Mercedes Hogan apparently because she hasn't lost and stuff like that. I just want you to know, Mercedes is the highest paid, one of the highest paid wrestlers in AEW for a very good reason, because she's very good.
Yeah,
she's generational, and yeah, just the fact that as much as I love Jamie Hayter, and I'm not here to downplay Jamie Hayter at all because I love her also. I actually picked Jamie Hayter to win. Funny enough, so get off my back. But
I think I picked Mercedes.
Yeah, you picked Mercedes. See, that's smart. The all the things that Mercedes was doing in there, her psychology, the moves that she was picking, her meteoras, like Mercedes just looked fantastic in this match. So did Jamie, but Mercedes looked like she was trying to be a world champion. So
yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I gotta say.
Let's see. I will say this, and this was a point we brought up last week about having, Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné, and we were talking about the reasons Mercedes would win
Mm-hmm.
is that it would get more eyes on the match on that card, Mercedes versus Toni Storm. And that's literally like one of the things. It's just out of the two, it was one of those things where it's like out of the two, which one is more interesting? Hayter versus Toni or Mercedes versus Toni? It's Mercedes all day, guys.
Yeah.
Like much as I like to see the run back between her, Hayter and Toni Storm for the title again, Mercedes versus Toni is just must see. That is must see TV. The only thing we lose out on is Athena versus Mercedes.
Which I am
That's
sad.
what we lose out.
I'm sad about that, but we will get there. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wanted to say about Mercedes, like some of my favorite parts of the match, so we can talk about the match a little bit. Mercedes was destroying Jamie Hayter's back,
Mm-hmm.
doing shit that I've never seen her do before.
Yeah.
And she already had like the offense to do it, right? Because she's already been using the backstabber. Like she's already had like a lot of really good stuff to use to hurt someone's back. But Mercedes was doing a lot more than I expected her to do. It was OD. I was actually kind of worried about Jamie for a couple times there. Like Jamie planted the back of her head a couple times on the mat. I was like, oh shit. I really hope she's okay.
See, there was only one thing that kind of bugged me a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't Mercedes. It was Jamie. Jamie Hayter, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because Mercedes was doing all this damage to her back. Right?
Yeah.
And she was literally working the whole match, like working her back. Jamie Hayter was like just running through like nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she wasn't injured at all. She's just like full steam ahead, clothesline. It's like, wait, hold on. How are you popping up like that with what Mercedes put you in this submission for like 5 minutes on your back, your bad back, that she's been hitting you the whole time on. So no, it's a small gripe, but that's probably like the only detail that I didn't like.
You sound like one of those old wrestling podcasters in selling.
I'm not saying look. I probably do, right? But I'm not going to say it's the worst match ever or anything. No, the match was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, she was getting her back stomped out the whole match. Literally. So, like, even just a little bit of, I can't pick you up like that. Or something. Like, where she hesitates on a move because Mercedes fucked up her back. Even once, that was just like gave a little bit more. That's it.
You know what? You know what's funny about that? When Jamie stumbled on trying to do that like flying clothesline on the outside over the steps, I feel like you could have used that moment, right? Because that could have been like, oh man, she really hurt her back and she really powered through, right? Like you could have used that as a moment. That would have been a good one.
Right.
Another one is when she tried to do like I'm gonna call it Haterade 3. Just for the
jumping one?
The jumping one, just for the sake of it, right? Because
Yeah.
Jamie has technically three different versions of Haterade. The Rainmaker is Haterade 1, right? The one where she just like grabs your arm and just leans back with all the power of God and just knocks you out is Haterade 2. And the one from the middle rope is Haterade 3.
Yeah.
When she missed that Haterade 3, I think it would have been a really good point, to your point, to like kind of stop for a minute and be like, oh my God, because that's a hard landing, right? Because Jamie Hayter's putting all of her power into her arm to try to swing, and if she misses and lands on the ground, that pain is gonna hit your back, right?
Right.
So I get what you're saying. I get you.
Yeah. Just like just a couple of moments like that, because Look, Mercedes doing this work on your back. All right, come on.
I'll tell you one. So just to talk about the end of the match too, because we have a lot to talk about for both Jaime and Mercedes and Athena and Toni Storm. But just to put a bookend on this match, how this match ended was Jaime tried to hit a Haterade. I forget which one. I think it was Haterade 2.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, 2. And Mercedes dodged it and then spiked Jaime in like the most gut-wrenching way I think I've ever seen. She spiked Jaime with the DDT and it turned into like a roll-up for the 1, 2, 3, and Mercedes Moné won the Owen Hart Women's Tournament, and she will be facing Toni Storm potentially at All In. We haven't talked about the match yet, so we shouldn't say who yet, but potentially Toni Storm at All In. It's Toni Storm. I mean, if you already listen to this podcast, it's Toni Storm. It's totally Toni Storm. It's totally Toni. But just to let people know, there were a couple people who were in the crowd that were live talking about it on Blue Sky, and they said Jaime did walk out on her own power. It looked like she got spiked, but it seemed like when Aubrey was checking on her, she was like nodding her head yes, like she was okay. So we think Jaime is okay. That last thud is the one that was kind of like worrying, right? That last one. That last little DDT into the roll-up. But it seems like Jamie's okay. I'm pretty sure we'll find out a little bit more officially later. But Jaime Hayter seems like she's okay.
Yeah. Well, they both took some hard ones during that match.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, but Jaime, her head got driven into the mat directly. Like, it was rough.
Thunk.
Yeah. You heard it. You heard the thunk. Yeah. And I was at home, I was like, oh my God, Jaime, please. But before we talk about all of the fallout from this match, what were your thoughts on this match, Proffitt?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was look, it was one of those ones, like I say, when AEW puts on something that's one super important, and then they show out. Man, look, that was a fantastic match. Besides my little gripe earlier, I was, into the match just like everybody was. Well, I couldn't tell because it was fucking Arizona, but there's that. But everyone that was supposed to be in the arena was, because they got that slow build up, and then they started going, getting crazier and crazier towards the end of the match, and it was great. It was a great match.
Now, we got to talk about the fallout. We're gonna start with the obvious one. Obvious one being Jaime Hayter.
Yep.
This one, it definitely did not feel like everyone wanted Jaime Hayter to win. This was also split, like kind of 50-50, right? Mercedes did win, like we said. Jamie's whole thing for this was proving her relevancy. Like, Jaime was basically saying, if I don't win this means that all the time that I had at World Champion was a fluke. All the time that I spent away to come back, it might have been a fluke and stuff like that. I don't fully agree with what Jaime was saying, but yeah, she was kind of down in the dumps on this one. She basically put her lifeline on for this match and lost. So where does Jaime go from here?
Well, for one, that is it's kind of a weird thing to say because it's a different landscape. It's a different women's division now.
I think that's why she said it, right? Because the women's division right now is 100 times better than when she was champion. And that's no slight to anyone. It's just, when one of your top stars is Britt Baker, I mean, division ain't really all that up to snuff, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's for one. It's not. There's no slight at her because it's just that the women's division is ridiculous right now. Like, anyone can win. Like, she could have been the winner. Mercedes could have been the winner. Hell, anyone on that Mercedes could have lost, and it could have been her and Athena could have won, right? Anyone, almost anyone in that tournament could have won.
Mm-hmm.
So she came in second, which second is the first loser, I guess. Not true. uh, but yeah, like I think where Jamie goes from here is she, comes back, gets back in, and then she goes on a tear to try to get back to where she was. And maybe it ends up with a TBS title shot because she wants to run it back
Mm-hmm.
against Mercedes. Maybe it happens like that. Or, if Mercedes takes the title from Toni Storm, maybe it's a run back for, she runs it back in this world title contention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Like, yeah, I think it doesn't stop here for Jamie Hayter. I think she's just going to get more motivated and then just go on an even bigger tear than what she was doing before.
Yeah, I agree. The main thing I want for Jamie, I want to make sure she stays on TV. Like that's
Yeah.
main point number one. Jamie should be doing something on TV.
Mhm.
Like it should not be. She should not disappear for a month, unless she's like fucked up. If she's hurt, nothing you can do about it.
That's different. Yeah.
But if she's healthy and she can wrestle, she should be wrestling this week. She should get a win back at some point this week from someone.
Yeah. I would say Collision, man.
Yeah, Collision, right? Yeah, put her on my show. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
See the thought? See the see the vision?
I see the vision. But yeah, Jamie should be on TV for sure. Like there's no reason that she shouldn't be other than if she's hurt. Who she wrestles I think is kind of irrelevant at this point. But she should get into a program with somebody. Like this is just like how Ospreay was a little down in the dumps. You can understand why Jamie Hayter was, and she should definitely go on a tear, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we got to talk about. There are two elephants in the room. The first one, Mercedes still has that TBS championship.
Yep.
The second one is Athena was at home and not in Arizona.
Yeah.
This means now this is another match that fans booked themselves and it's not happening. We are not getting Mercedes and Athena at All In. And I'm not going to say fans because I did it too.
Yeah.
That's the match I wanted so bad. I want that run back so bad. And if we are getting it, it's not going to happen All In. Proffitt. Do you think... Well, okay. I don't know how to phrase this question without sounding like a dick because I think Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné is the money match in the women's division. Like it's one of the it's like the biggest match they could probably do that they have not done. So, do you think it was a mistake to not do Mercedes and Athena at All In?
Oh man. It is a moment. It's a missed moment. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's kind of like they blew it out of the water by making it the first match or one of the first matches in the Owen Hart tournament.
Yeah, the semifinal.
So I know in some way, shape, or form Athena's going to be back on AEW TV. When, where, I don't know. It's a crime that she's not on TV now. She's just too entertaining not to be. But the TBS title, the thing is, I don't think Mercedes loses it until after she goes out and goes in on does her match with Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want Mercedes losing right now, right? Like,
right.
Unless it was per like some kind of weird circumstance, but we got to remember Mercedes is also a heel.
Right. So, because they're gonna make her wrestle, a few times before she gets there, but I don't see anybody taking it from her. They kind of want her, ramping up. So the story is that she's undefeated and has the TBS championship versus the world champion.
Yeah.
Or it could just be some weird bullshit NWA rule. Hey, you haven't defended the title in 30 days. You have to relinquish it now. Which that ain't gonna happen either.
No, I mean Mercedes is defending. She hasn't defended often, but she just did recently, like last week.
Yeah, she literally just did. Yeah.
So it's not like she's not.
I don't see the title. I don't see her dropping any type of her title until after All In.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I agree with you. This is. I think. I think us fans are. Some of us are thinking about it the wrong way, right? Because when you really think about it, if you think of it like this, TBS champion Mercedes Moné versus AEW World Champion Toni Storm.
Yeah.
The two top title holders in that women's division. One of who is literally one of the greatest world champions that AEW has ever seen. The other one is literally the greatest TBS champion that the company's ever seen.
Yeah.
They're going to clash. And I fully don't expect Mercedes to win. Like, I feel like this is the one that Mercedes is going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because I maybe, who knows, right? I guess is AEW willing to put the only two women's championships that we have at the time on one person?
Her Mercedes title reign right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of one other person's title reign.
Whose?
Jay Lethal.
Ooh.
His TV title reign.
Okay.
Right? He was TV champion and the longest reigning TV champion. He finally goes against Jay Briscoe. He wins. He won the title, and eventually, like he did like one pay-per-view where he wrestled two title matches in a row. I think it was like one or two pay-per-views,
mm-hmm.
And then he relinquished the TV title. So I can see Mercedes doing something like that if she won the world championship.
Yeah, but that's one of two of the only women's titles though. Like with Jay Lethal, it makes sense, right? Because there are other titles that the men could win, right? And Jay Lethal at the time, despite what anyone says, was the best wrestler on the planet. Like,
oh yeah, no, there's no arguing.
Those are arguing that House of Truth, Jay Lethal was the best wrestler on the planet, like bar none. There was not a better wrestler than Jay Lethal at that time, right?
No.
The difference was that the men had other championships to vie for. Now, they have until they announce these women's tag team championships that are totally coming for sure now, for sure.
Oh yeah.
These are the only two titles that they have. So putting them on one person right now, it doesn't feel great if they were to do that. Because now the entire division has to go through one person. While Jay Lethal, it was just the World Championship team. Granted, it was a big scene also. The World Championship scene and the TV title scene had to go through Jay Lethal.
Right. And they probably won't go through the thing of she has to she has to defend the TV championship also. More than likely, she'll win the world championship and immediately has to relinquish the TBS championship.
If she wins, that's the hope.
Yeah, that's probably like if she wins, that's probably what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, she'll relinquish it and just become just defend the world championship, and they'll have our favorite thing, a TBS championship tournament.
But yeah, like I think I want the match. Mercedes and Toni Storm is gonna be fun as shit. It's gonna be a fantastic match.
Oh, the lead up is gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be OD, bro. The thing that I'm worried about is I want to see how they treat these 2 titles as we're going to this, because Toni Storm's entire thing was doing eliminator matches to get it to this point, right? Toni Storm was wrestling damn near twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Once or twice a week for like a month leading up to Double or Nothing.
Right.
Mercedes has been wrestling throughout the tournament, so she hasn't really been defending as much as she normally does. But she also just recently defended.
Right.
So I feel like this is going to sound crazy. So bear with me on this one. This is going to be the most wrestler story that we're ever going to see, because a lot of the shit's going to be happening after, in my opinion, is going to be happening before and after matches, because these 2 are going to be fucking wrestling, not each other, but they're going to be wrestling.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely I want to see how they're going to do this. I just need them to announce these tag titles so we don't have to worry about this as much, so we have the other women can be fighting for something other than just fighting each other.
Yeah, because look, I've seen some people say, "Oh, there's not enough women in the division for tag titles." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, bullshit.
What about? I think the women's roster is about between 25 and 30.
Yeah, it's deep.
It's pretty deep, and that's not including people that are trying to get their visas back, even including them, right?
Exactly.
So adding those tag titles back, you get hey, you suddenly get people like Nyla Rose coming back. You get, if Riho's good, Riho comes back. Whatever. You get plenty. There's plenty of people to make a tag division.
God, you can
shit. You got natural tag teams like the Renegade Twins, right? So, yeah, there's plenty of women in the division.
It's already there, right? We got the Vendetta hasn't been on TV. Ty Conti hasn't been on TV. Hikaru Shida hasn't been on TV. There, Queen Aminata, Red Velvet. There's a ton of women that can be on TV for this.
Look. Oh, actually, you said Queen Aminata and Red Velvet. I'm gonna say this, and this is going off topic.
Totally fine. It's our podcast.
Shout out to Red Velvet.
You see her putting that work, huh?
She look. She I've seen her watching her on the Ring of Honor recently and stuff like that. Leaps and bounds way better. She's so good now. She's ridiculously good now.
That's my TV champion.
She is so good now. I'm yeah. There we go. Because they put her on TV before on AEW TV, and I don't know. It was probably just the time where it was just, I don't think she wasn't one of the ones not getting the reps or anything like that. But something special happened when she went to Ring of Honor. And now, yeah, she's got it now.
Listen. You can call that whatever you want. You can call that the Kyle Fletcher effect. You can call that you can call it the Athena effect. You can call it whatever you want. You go down there, the Ring of Honor, you win the championship down there, you go down there and wrestle, because they be wrestling in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah, they're wrestling.
Don't let nothing fool you. Don't let people who don't be watching Ring of Honor fool you. They go down there and they wrestle. Yeah. Boy, they fucking wrestle. That's why whenever anyone comes back from there, you're like, oh my God, this person's fantastic. Guess who's been in Ring of Honor a lot lately and has been coming to AEW TV and showing out?
Oh, who?
AR Fox.
Oh.
And look at AR Fox now. Everyone, When I put out a thing on Blue Sky, I said, "What do you think about TNT champion AR Fox, international champion AR Fox?" And people were like, because that's how good he's gotten since being on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, yeah. They wrestle down there, and and plus you have Dustin down there, Dustin and Big Show down there helping.
Yeah.
And if you wonder what Big Show has been doing, watch Big Sat. Satnam Singh is wrestling like the Big Show now.
The motherfucker wrestling like a giant. And look, I don't think y'all remember. Y'all might be thinking about Big Show from like 2016. Big Show from like early AEW when he was doing the couple of matches he did.
No.
Talk about 2000s Big Show.
Yeah.
The fucking workhorse Big Show.
Workhorse Big Show.
Bumping his big ass off for no reason. Big Show.
They got Satnam. He's been working with. You could tell he's been working with Satnam Singh. That's like you could tell.
Ugh. But yeah, there's a lot of things to be done, right? It's AEW has a women's division to grab women's titles. They also need to find a way to not make the TBS championship irrelevant in this point. Mercedes gonna have to wrestle. Toni Storm's gonna have to wrestle. We know we're not getting Athena, so Athena needs to find her way to get on All In, because I refuse to fly out there without seeing Athena in the ring beating some bitches up.
Yeah.
But you have any other thoughts before we have spent an hour on the Owen Hart alone. So do you have any more thoughts before we move on to the rest of the show?
No, I think the Owen Hart, just both of the finals were fantastic. Like men's and the women's, they were both fantastic, and I think just in some way, shape, or form, I don't think the TBS championship will be irrelevant. I can't see it. Not with the stacked roster that the women's division has. Because like you got to think of the next TBS champion is either going to be like Chris Statlander, Megan Bain, probably not Julia Hart again, but maybe Sky Blue. Who knows, right? All people that could carry the TBS title division fairly easily.
I'm talking about right now. While Mercedes is focused on Toni, Mercedes is gonna have to wrestle some more to make sure that TBS championship is still around for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think she's gonna be going in.
All right, we are gonna be talking about our third match of the night now. We have to talk about the other big match, the Double or Nothing staple, Anarchy in the Arena. Lord have mercy. Just to remind people who was in this match, we had our AEW World Championship, our AEW World Champion, and I guess championships to say he's the title, Jon Moxley, Marina Shafir, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and the founding fathers of AEW, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks, versus the Ops, Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, Katsuyori Shibata, Willow Nightingale, the GOAT of this match, by the way, Swerve Strickland, and Kenny by God Omega. God bless. The only thing I'm going to talk about immediately are the song choices. The Young Bucks came out to like 1776 Founding Fathers theme. That played for a few minutes. Kenny took a mic. Oh, he didn't take a mic yet. Kenny was like, no. Let's change the song. Because now Anarchy in the Arena is a party. If you've never been in an Anarchy in the Arena match, in the arena for Anarchy in the Arena, you're missing out. Because it's the most fun. It's the most fun thing ever.
Also why I hate Arizona right now. But yeah, keep going.
They had such a good one too, bro. Uh, so Kenny says, no, we're not playing this old timey shit. Let's play something else. And we get the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. And Swerve is looking at like Omega's like, what? You know what? Okay, let's do it. They got hyped up. And remember, this used to be the Dynamite theme once they hit Max.
Oh right, yeah.
I laughed. I was like, "Oh my god, they brought it back," and they seem happy with it. Omega then takes a mic and was like, "You know, let's change the song again. Let's do something in the 2000s. If you know the song, please sing along. Play that shit." And these motherfuckers, they fucking couldn't do this here. But they played Bodies by Drowning Pool. And that's when the match kicked off. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said I still have that CD, by the way.
You still have... So the crowd starts going a little bit nuts, right? Singing along with the song. And this is when the match really kicks off. Don't get me wrong. At this point, they had already been all around the arena. But this was like the first 5 minutes. And then while Drowning Pool is on, the crowd is singing for the first part of it. Kenny is jumping off of balconies. Yuta got thrown off of a balcony.
By Hobbs.
Swerve did a swerve stomp off of a forklift. Mm-hmm. Moxley actively was stabbing Hobbs with a fork. There was a point where, I don't know if this was during the music because it's a whole blur, but there were staple guns, and Swerve took a staple to the tongue, and then he also stapled everyone. Like he had like a little staple gun show off with Matthew Jackson. Oh god, there was a giant swing on the outside into the speaker to turn off Bodies by Drowning Pool. So much happened. I'm gonna stop. Proffitt, talk about some of your favorite parts for a second.
My god, man, one of the things was Swerve put on the tack shoes at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Did the swerve stomp to I think it was Matt Jackson. It doesn't matter, Nicholas. One of the Bucks. He did the swerve stomp to him. There was that part where Marina Shafir got Willow and put a lock through her ear.
Mm-hmm. Because Willow has a gauge. Put it right through it.
Put it right through it. So Willow was locked up on the side, like for some of the match. And when Willow finally got out, because Nana came out and had the key and got her out. Her and Hobbs went off and started spine bustering everybody, which was fantastic. And then Hobbs took off the shirt, because he was doing the straps and stuff. And then Willow pulled down her straps and it showed the big black and Jack shirt.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yes.
I need one of those shirts.
Yes.
It's the best, man. There was the what else? Okay. So the Bucks were trying to set up Willow for the Meltzer driver. And Swerve interrupted. He pushed he I think it's Matt Jackson. He pushed him off the top. And Willow reversed, got Nick Jackson in that tombstone position, and they did it to him. I thought that was pretty awesome. But yeah, this match overall was just fun, man. It was so good.
God bless. Some other stuff that happened. We'll get to the end pretty quick because there's again a lot of conversation here. one thing we have to mention before we actually get there to completely, we got a Hook sighting.
Yeah.
Hook came out there and laid waste to Claudio for a little bit. And then Samoa Joe was like, come in here, let's do this. And Hook was like, nah. And walked off. And Samoa Joe looked confused. This was like in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
So this is something that they're going to have to deal with for, good reason. Because this is kind of our fault too. Hook got hurt, right? And we're all like, well, Hook, you lost your spot to Hobbs. Too bad. And he's very warranted to be angry at the ops,
Well, hey, they had a title match and they couldn't let it go.
Yeah. And I think it's mainly our fault too, because everyone was like, oh man, why wasn't Hobbs here to begin with? And Hook
is true.
Hook in character was probably looking at his phone, like, just pissed the entire time. Because Hobbs just looks like a natural op and everything, and it just worked out so well. And they're champions right now too, so Hook heel turn. It should happen.
Oh. Okay. Unless they. All right. They do this. You could say I called it here. They can, when Taz got injured, right?
Mm-hmm.
In ECW, the reason why he made the FTW title, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one checked up on him. No one called him. No one anything. So he was pretty much like fuck everybody when he came back. This could be Hook channeling his inner Taz if something similar to that happened.
That would be great. That'd be fantastic.
And then he goes on a Taz like run.
I think that would help him because he is that was the most interested I've been in Hook in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe Kidd came out, didn't really help a ton. Like they had numbers or whatever, wasn't too crazy. Mark Briscoe, after the stretcher match that we'll talk about later, came out. The ambulance from the stretcher match is still there. The Death Riders get locked into the ambulance. Literally all of them. All of them,
yeah.
And then we end with the Bucks and Kenny and Swerve. The moment that you already said happened, where Swerve put on the Answers, his new shoes, and stomped the hell out of Nicholas Jackson with the tax on the bottom. The other thing was Kenny had Matthew on the stage, which we didn't talk about the stage either, but whatever. In the One Wing Angel, and there was a table underneath. They jump down and the table explodes. So they're done.
Yep.
And Swerve was able to win it for the team. The Death Riders were locked away, so they didn't have any factor in this ending. And we have our Anarchy in the Arena winners. Funny enough, I think this is the first time the face team won. I'm pretty sure.
Actually, I think the heel team won every time.
I think so. This also means that this is Moxley's biggest loss since returning. It wasn't for the championship or anything like that, but all the Death Riders lost. They got beat. A lot of things were happening in this match. The match was crazy. People were saying that this is like one of the best matches ever, which this was a very fun Anarchy in the Arena. I think 2024 was better with the fire and stuff like that. But as a match in the concept, Anarchy in the Arena never misses. It was fantastic.
It would have been better in Vegas, but I'm just saying, it's been better out here in the MGM Arena.
I mean,
it would have been way better.
I mean, we know how to deal with it. This is my jealousy. I'm trying hard not to be jealous that I wasn't there. And this is like the first Double or Nothing that I've ever missed live. Like I've been to literally every other Double or Nothing that they allowed fans in Vegas. I didn't go to the ones in Jacksonville, or the one in Jacksonville. But every other one I've been to, and I'm a little salty. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, yeah. The salt is flowing over here. only at Arizona.
Jealous.
But
We're just jealous. It's fine.
the Anarchy Arena, yeah, that was the shit, man.
It was
That
so-
it was so damn good, and Swerve shoes look pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
they go on sale. I guess I don't know when this is gonna be posted.
28th.
Yeah, so
So
in a couple days, as at the time of recording.
yep.
So it's gonna
Feel
be.
like trying to get it.
I'm gonna try to get them. I got the buck. I was able to get the buck shoes pretty easily. They did
Uh-huh.
end up selling out right after, so you have to be there like right when it opens. But you should be able to get them.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a pair.
So
Go ahead.
one of the things I was thinking, like story wise, so Mox is gonna blame it on the Bucks. 100%. He's like, hey, you guys are the one that took the pin, and you're the reason we lost. So screw you guys, and then they're gonna beat the shit out of the Bucks.
Yeah.
The Bucks ain't gonna have it. The Bucks ain't having it. If they get beat up by the Death Riders, the Death Riders are gonna have another problem. And you know, hey, I'm going to point out the obvious of who they're going to call, and they're going to be going at the Death Riders. I feel like in some way, shape, or form. You know, the Bucks and the Good Brothers.
Oh, the internet's gonna hate that.
Huh?
The internet's gonna hate that, but yeah, I can see it happening.
I can see that. Well, but it could be like it doesn't necessarily have to be all of them fighting them, and then Hangman fighting them, and then all these other, you know, fighting at once. There's something going to happen in some way, shape, or form, because if the Bucks get beat up by the Death Riders, right? You know how the Bucks are. They're not gonna. They'll be like, okay, we're not gonna get mad. We're gonna get even, and they're gonna get even somehow. So I feel like they're either gonna bring somebody in, bring a whole bunch of people in to fuck up the Death Riders, or they're gonna do a whole bunch of stipulation stuff. They'll put the EVP hats on and just like completely screw them.
Yeah. I think that's the crazy part about this, right? Because like you said, like it can go that way easily. There are a lot of ways that this can go.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with you. Like I definitely feel like feel like the Bucks are gonna put on their EVP caps. They're gonna do something crazy to the Death Riders, right?
Yeah.
Let's see how this plays out. I'm guessing we're gonna get Marina and Willow again at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get some more Chris Stat interference. The Ops are gonna have to fight somebody. It's probably gonna be Hook and whoever else. Swerve is gonna be over with Hangman doing his thing over there. Like this thing can break down in a lot of really crazy ways because there were so many people in this match. Oh, it feels like the only match that we have safe at this point is Omega and Okada. That's the only one that everyone kind of quote unquote fantasy booked, even though AEW Loki kind of teased us with a couple of these matches. And this is the only safe one right now. So we're gonna see if that still goes through. There's a lot is gonna be coming from this match because Death Riders are not gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, they're gonna be pissed.
Oh man, do you have anything else to talk about for Anarchy in the Arena before we move on? We'll just go down the rest of the show after this.
No.
Okay. We're talking about the buy-in. Then we're gonna go through every other match. All of these other matches have like conversations to have around them, but I don't think they'll be these three matches that we just talked about.
Great.
Buy-in. The first match was Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. Match was a fantastic tag match.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. Like, we were talking about how these ladies were showing out. And everyone came to the same conclusion. Oh yeah, them tag team championships are coming sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You have any thoughts on that first buy match?
First off, it was a fantastic match. Second off, you guys are a bunch of pervs. The whole spot where Harley Cameron was doing the what was it? Slamming um Penelope Ford's face into Anna Jay's butt. And everybody was like, it should have been me. I was like, you pervs, stop it.
Yeah, they were thirsting out in public. I saw a lot of them. I was like, ooh, y'all calm down. Y'all calm down.
Stop it.
Bad, bad. We need a spray bottle. Just
stop it.
Well, yeah, overall,
But no, that match was fun. That match was really, really fun.
Mm-hmm. I liked it, and like we said, I already said it. We're gonna say it again. Them tag team championships are coming.
Oh yeah, they all have matching gear.
All of them had matching gear. They Anna Jay and Harley Cameron had a new mixed theme song.
Mm-hmm.
If this isn't the sign that, hey, we are invested, I don't know what it is. Just announce a tournament. I say do the tournament and have it go to All In. The winners are crowned. The new tag team champions are crowned to All In.
Yeah, like the what's her? There's another tag team, the Sky Blue and oh my god,
Oh, and Julia
Hart. Yeah, we're gonna have that tag team. We got teams everywhere.
The Vendetta can come back. Queen Aminata and Red Velvet, our team down in Ring of Honor. We can get the relationship coming back between Willow and Stat, even though Willow wants nothing to do with Stat right now. Another tag team. That's my pick to be the first tag team champions now at this point.
Oh man, that would be a good one. Yeah, you got Willow and Stat. If Tony Storm lost the title, we have Thunder Tits.
Yep. They have the teams.
They have the teams.
Just make them titles already.
Yeah, they just make the goddamn titles. What are you doing?
At this point, like, come on. Next up, the other buy-in match. Like I said, we're gonna go in order from this point. We had an 8-way tag. We had Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, Roppongi Vice, Leo Rush, and Action Andretti crew versus AR Fox, Bandito, Commander, and Hologram.
Oh my god!
As expected, this match was crazy. Roppongi Vice tried to slow it down, they couldn't. The Luchadors and AR Fox decided to start going crazy. Action Andretti got his nose busted. The first part of blood of the show was Action Andretti get his nose broken. Overall, it was a good match. The Luchadors and AR Fox won the match though. There was a point where we got those like simultaneous dives out the ring, and then we got the simultaneous 2 450s and 2 shooting star presses in the ring. Like, it was a crazy match. Proffitt, what were your thoughts?
This match was I don't know what I'd explain it. It was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. It was fun. There was nothing wrong with the match at all. It was super entertaining. Well, the second you saw Hologram come out, you already knew which team was winning, right? It's like Mystico coming out. You know Mystico doesn't lose.
Exactly.
Just like Hologram. Now we need Hologram Mystico tag team, and they'll run through every division.
No, that's not fair for everybody else.
Can't lose.
It like Mystico's like win loss ratio is like 99%.
Yeah.
can't do that.
The first guys to take out the Hurt Syndicate.
God bless.
But no, it was a really fun match. Everybody, everybody showed out. Like if I were to say like one word to kind of like describe, everybody on the card, was motivated.
Oh yeah.
Every person from every match and everyone was motivated. They were just highly motivated and driven to put on the best damn wrestling match that they could. They might have got some type of pep talk in the back. I don't know what it was, but they were all drinking the Kool-Aid tonight and overdosing on it because look, they were highly motivated. Everybody was.
Everybody, every single match was crazy.
Yeah.
Also, we got to talk about this too now that we're over an hour into the podcast. The stage was insane.
Yes, yes. It was ridiculous. That was actually like one of my favorite pay-per-view stages that they've had.
It was like different, right? Like this is the first time I can remember AEW doing like a really different type of stage. Like we've had them every once in a while, right? Like big screens, and we've had stuff like here and there. But this felt like I don't know how to say it, but this felt like a big, and this is counterproductive. This felt like a really big pay-per-view. Just with the stage, look at the stage alone.
Yeah, yeah. It felt like because you watch a Dynamite, right? And you're like, okay, that's just, a regular TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
This felt like an event.
Yeah, that's it. That's the best way to say it. It felt like an event.
Yeah. Like this is the big event. So we made it grander.
Like it was noticeably different. They had an actual like elevated stage. Like this was noticeably different than every other a majority of the other pay-per-views. They've had them here and there. But this was like probably the most grand that we've seen from AEW.
Yep, for sure.
All right. It was after this point the show started. That's when we got Mercedes and Jaime Hayter. So we've already we talked about that for 30 minutes. So I don't think we have to do that anymore. The next match we're going to be talking about is FTR versus Nigel Mcguiness and Daniel Garcia.
Okay.
I don't even know how to explain this match. Nigel Mcguiness again has not missed a step.
Nope, not at all.
Like I can't tell he's retired. I really can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's see. This was the FTR and Nigel Mcguiness show. Sorry, Daniel Garcia. You tried. You tried. A very interesting thing that happened near the end of the match is Tony Schiavone was very worried about Nigel Mcguiness, rightfully so, right? So he gets up and kind of awkwardly stands. And I never noticed how awkward Tony Schiavone is standing until I saw this. But he just kind of stood, and he looked like he was kind of scared of FTR, so he tried to back off. And they told him to sit down. He didn't. He went to go check on Nigel. Yeah, it just was a little awkward. I know what they were trying to do. Felt a little awkward to me. Garcia tried his best, did what he could, but he passed out to the sharpshooter, and they lost. Proffitt, I didn't talk about a lot of the match. What are your favorite parts of the match, and what did you think about the match?
I think my favorite parts of the match were like the whole block of like the first, I would say like the first 15 minutes of the match, right? It was all Nigel Mcguiness versus the FTR. When he finally got the tag into Daniel Garcia and Garcia started going a little crazy, it was good, but it didn't hit as hard as like all of the Nigel Mcguiness stuff. And I will say this: Dax has one of the best pile drivers ever, man. When he did that shit to Daniel Garcia, I thought he killed him.
It's the way he does it. Like I don't know what he does with his legs, but he's like really snappy with his legs. So he just kind of like bounces up and just kind of falls, and it looks like the person taking the sharpshooter, the pile driver, dies every single time.
Yeah. So, no, those were my moments in the match. But you know what? It was overall, it was a pretty decent match. It was pretty decent.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I know we're not going to talk about it like a ton because there's not like a ton to talk about here. Like, we know Nigel Mcguiness ain't. I mean, he's not going to get back into the ring FTR again. I don't think it's going to extend. I think this is done. Garcia is probably going to figure out what he's going to do next, right? He's probably still going to go after FTR because he passed out. But I don't think Nigel's involved anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see where FTR goes. And that's really where we are here. There's not really too much else going on there.
Mm-mm.
Next up, right after this, we had Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe in a stretcher match. AEW's first stretcher match. God, what didn't happen in this match? Mark Briscoe was bleeding buckets. He got stabbed with the scissors twice. What else happened? There was Ricochet tried to do a shooting star press on Briscoe while he was on the gurney, and Briscoe moved, and Ricochet bounced off of the stretcher. Like, it was just, oh my god, that looked vicious.
It looked nasty.
A lot of things were happening in this match. Like, a lot happened. Mark Briscoe, who decided to, again, we talked about this last week, but he's been growing out his hair, which he can do it. He just shaved his head bald for whatever reason. He had a bunch of cleaning supplies. And he grabbed the cleaning supplies. He sprayed Ricochet's head while he was in a headlock and then shined it up. And then the entire feed was like, "Oh my god, I'm blind. My eyes, I can't see the glare." And you saw people in the crowd going like, "Oh my god, my eyes, I can't see." And it was funny. It was funny. I'm sorry, it was funny.
First off, fuck y'all. Fucking haters. See, look. Here's how petty Mark Briscoe is. He's been bald this whole fucking time. His ass decided to grow hair, so he isn't called the bald one. You son of a bitch.
Look, I thought he was gonna have like a bald spot or something. He didn't.
Mm-mm.
He on Dynamite he had a full head of hair, and then on the pay-per-view he like has like the mohawk now. But like this, like you just shaved your head bald for the sake of being bald,
just for the hell of it, bastard.
God, what Ricochet had 2 sets of scissors, was beating the hell out of Mark Briscoe. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie. There was a point near the end. We'll talk about the end, and then I'm gonna pass it over to you. Where Ricochet, like I said, he had 2 sets of scissors hidden. He stabbed Mark Briscoe with the set while they were by the ambulance. Hit him with the spirit gun, knocked him out, and then threw him in the stretcher, or threw him on the stretcher into the ambulance. And your winner, and I think this was Ricochet's first pay-per-view win, was Ricochet.
Yep. That was good, man.
What were your thoughts on the match, Proffitt?
Oh man, overall that was a fun match. Another again, motivated. They were highly motivated, and those guys, Mark Briscoe ain't missing, dude. I'm sorry, that dude. He got into his groove. He is not missing. And Ricochet, look, Ricochet is the best heel, probably one of the best heels in all of wrestling right now.
Oh yeah,
by far, and he's not missing either. So it was a great match. It was fun.
And we got to see Mark Briscoe again later because we talked about during Anarchy in the Arena. Still bloody, he came out there and helped Team Swerve, Team AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who had the idea to use the ambulance that was still sitting out there for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why, and lock the Death Riders into the ambulance. So that Mark Briscoe was a very essential part to help Team AEW win Anarchy in the Arena.
Yep. Hey, plus there was a member of conglomeration out there, so of course he was going to help.
Hell yeah. But yeah, overall, it was a really good match. Next up, we have to talk about the AEW World Tag Team Championship match between the Sons of Texas and the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say this because I feel like a lot of people who do podcasts never say this enough.
Uh-huh.
I was wrong about this match. I was not excited about this match at all. Like, you know that they all can wrestle, but it was like, I don't know why we're doing this. It wasn't a good idea, blah, 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 blah. People who do podcasts, people who have a voice should be able to say when they're wrong, and I was wrong, because this match was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was really damn good.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. I don't remember a single thing Sammy did. I don't. I really don't. And I don't know why, but I think I blanked Sammy out of my mind completely. I'm not sure why. But they were able to fight back to her Syndicate for a while, right? Like, it was a really back and forth match. Probably the Syndicate's best tag match so far, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Shelton was able to Shelton had to do his thing to try to get control. There was a point where Lashley was trying to get control. The thing that I want to talk about the most was MJF being out there, because this is MJF's first official time being with the Hurt Syndicate. And that motherfucker just did not look right. I don't like it. I don't like it. But we see MJF try to get involved a couple times. So, like, we see him do a couple stomps. We see him interfere. The one thing that we see is he took the Dynamite Diamond ring off and tried to give it to Shelton so Shelton could use it against Dustin. Bobby Lashley wasn't having none of that.
Nope.
There were also points where MJF was trying to be very bossy. Like, because of MJF, it felt more bossy than anything, but he was trying to, like, get them back up, but it didn't seem like he was really trying to help them. It really seemed like he was just trying to order them around, to me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where Bobby Lashley was outside with Dustin Rhodes, and MJF was in the way, and he was about to do something, and then Lashley looks like he's about to kill him, but then he does his signature spear through the barricade that he does everywhere now at this point. That's just his spot now. He did a lot of WWE. He does a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start palling around. Like, they're laughing and smiling. They're having a good time. The Syndicate did win, and they did retain after, killing Sammy. There was also a point where they really did fuck up Sammy. Like, there was a point in the middle of the match where Bobby Lashley had Sammy up on his shoulder and then flipped him. Like, he was just a piece of trash.
He did the Dominator.
Yeah, he flipped him and then did the Dominator. No, he was like on his stomach on Lashley's shoulder. Lashley was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna flip you over. Literally just flipped him over like he was nothing, then did the Dominator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, it was crazy. But yeah, Syndicate does retain. It seems like MJF is doing well with the Syndicate. Proffitt, what were your thoughts on the match?
Oh, the match was really fun. I think the reason why you don't remember much of Sammy's spots is because when he got out there, he got his ass fucking destroyed.
That's probably what it was. I know he did fight Shelton a little bit, but I don't remember anything that he really did.
So there was one point where, like, they were it was Lashley and Dustin on the outside. I think Max was out there too, and he was gonna. It was towards the end of the match, so he was. He ran the ropes, and he was about to do a dive, right? Shelton Benjamin popped up and was about to do the knee, and Sammy, he clipped Sammy, and Sammy, of course, is like, after he hit him with that, he was like lifeless on the ropes, and then and then they just started tossing him around. But overall, match was super fun, man. It was a good match.
Yeah, I mean, Syndicate won as expected, and like I said, I feel like this match over delivered. This was definitely Syndicate's best match. It did really well. It was a fantastic match.
I still enjoy the Gates of Agony match just as much.
Yeah,
because that was like probably one of their other first real challenges. Was the Gates of Agony.
Yeah, it was real back and forth, that Gates of Agony match, and because of that, they're on TV a lot more now, which is great. Next up, we have our AEW Continental Championship match between our champion, Kazuchika Okada, and Balatro, Speedball Mike Bailey. I need to play that game. I really need to play that game now. Like I'm gonna play it.
Look. Do you have anything else you're playing?
Nothing of importance.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, go ahead, play it. I'm telling you, man. Like, you play that game, it'll be like 8 o'clock in the morning when you start, and it'll be midnight when you stop. It's ridiculous.
Oh, good thing I didn't do it today. Then I'll take that. Yeah, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna see what's up.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. Once you get the hang of the rules and all that stuff, it's really good.
Okay. Yeah, I play it. I'm gonna play it. I think I own it. We talked about it before.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it.
Worth it.
All right. Continental Championship match. This match was all about Mike Bailey trying to do what he can to deter Okada. And also Speedball made Okada work.
Mm-hmm.
If there is one gripe that a lot of people rightfully have about Okada, is that it doesn't feel like he's trying. And I understand, because we've said it too, Okada's just that great. We've said it before, like Okada can come out here and do 20% and have a great match. And he's proven it.
Yeah. Plenty of times.
This was not 20. You quoted 70% Okada.
Uh-huh.
I think I have to agree. It was like definitely like 70%.
Yeah, it was 70%. Because, like, here's what I saw when I said that. When he came out for his entrance, again, that word I said in the beginning, motivation. He looked pretty motivated. Like, really motivated. And then he was out for his entrance and had all this stuff, and he was feeling it. He was feeling something, some kind of way. He was like, oh yeah. I think like he was motivated, and we got more Okada in this one.
Mm-hmm. I think one of them kicks woke him up, because I think he was gonna start at like 40. He had like the the look, but then Speedball kicked him. He was like, oh shit, I'm in a real fight. Hold on.
Hold up.
This was probably Speedball's like best match in AEW, like for sure, right? Like he looked like a challenger. Like he looked like he could take that Continental Championship from Okada.
Oh yeah.
I guess, which isn't surprising, right? Like Speedball's been fantastic.
Yeah, like Speedball's ridiculous, man. Like, and here's the funny thing, you guys have listened to me, when I was reviewing TNA, way back when. That was when I actually first got a look at Speedball, because, like, look, when you look at him in the beginning, you're like, what is this guy? Like, he just like looks like some plain karate guy. And then you see him wrestling, you're like, oh shit, I got it completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Speedball's just great, man. I quickly became a fan of Speedball after watching him do his X Division things and things like that.
And I think a lot of people agree with you, because he is a very big fan favorite right now also.
Yeah.
Like the crowd loves them some Speedball.
Oh yeah.
Because how many we've seen Okada in how many matches at this point, and how many times is Okada in a match and he is the de facto babyface no matter what the people do.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting booed a little bit here and there, not like fully, but he was getting booed a little bit.
Yeah.
God, I don't even know what parts I want to talk about in this match, because a lot happened in here. Mike Bailey's Falcon Arrow looked fantastic. Okada was Okada. I mean, what can you say about Okada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okada hit one of the nicest rainmakers he's hit in AEW on Speedball, and that helped him retain. Like, a lot happened in this match. Proffitt, you might talk about a little bit more that happened in this match, but Okada did retain. And we didn't actually see him for the rest. We didn't see Okada for the rest of the night. I kind of expected to see him during Anarchy in the Arena. We didn't, so we'll see what happens next. Proffitt, what were your favorite parts of this match, and what were your thoughts?
So yeah, the end that you mentioned, like the part right before that. So, Speedball, he did the he tried to do Ultimate Weapon, and then that's when Okada was like, got out of the way, immediately grabbed his ass and hit him with the fucking Rainmaker,
Mm-hmm.
to end the match. That shit was clean, man. That shit was good. Um, and then there was all those points where those near falls that happened that Speedball got that was leading up to it that almost made you think Speedball was going to take it.
Oh yeah.
I even questioned myself. I was like, I could see him winning. I could see him winning it because, like, if he won, he could do an X Division type run with the. He's like one of the perfect guys to carry that belt and just do matches all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um. So yeah, it had me going like, oh, he might win. They got me there for a second, especially when the ref fucked up on one of those counts.
Oh yeah, when I hit the 3 and Okada like had put his foot on the rope like right before.
Yeah,
Oof.
which almost made me think, wait, hold on, maybe he fucked up the finish on accident. Maybe Speedball is supposed to win, but that wasn't the way, and he fucked up the count or something like that. It had me all messed up. That one count had me second guessing everything. But yeah, fantastic match overall, man. Those guys, they were motivated. The key word for today.
Can I be honest?
Yeah, what's up?
This match made me not want them to do a title for title unification match.
Mm.
I kind of want to keep the Continental Championship around because if we can keep getting matches like this, the next champion after Okada, whoever that is, just have him wrestle a bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of want to keep the Continental Championship around. And I know a lot of people are saying, I guess technically we've been wrong about everything when it comes to All In, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not a title unification match. Maybe they're just gonna Okada and Omega just gonna wrestle for the international championship. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna quickly find out. We'll just put it like that.
The build's really gonna kick up starting Wednesday, right? Like we're gonna
Yep.
start building up these matches. We got about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
These matches are gonna be built, and we got like 2 4-hour shows back to back.
Yeah, starting in June.
Yeah, so we are going to get a lot of story progression on this run to All In.
And man, can I tell you something?
Yeah, hell yeah.
On see, one of those shows is June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of you do not know the significance of what's happening on June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you know. That's that Midnight Switch 2 release.
Uh-oh.
But 9 o'clock here, because we're West Coast, so yeah. West Coast is best coast. So I'll be in line to go get my Switch 2 because I already have it pre-ordered. But I think the show will end right when I'll be walking. I'll be watching the show and I'll just be walking in there to get my Switch 2.
Yeah, it starts for us starts at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. So if it ends at 9, yeah, I'll just be walking right in there to get it.
Man, good times. Good times.
Yep.
Next up, we have our AEW Women's World Championship match between our champion, Timeless Toni Storm, and Mina Shirakawa. This match, Mina was focused very heavily on the Nia Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. You know, if you haven't really watched Mina, like, for real, she is a specialist at this, right? She is a master of the figure four. She's a master of leg submissions. She's really good at breaking your leg if she wants to.
Yeah.
There was a point that was kind of funny to me where they were all outside, like Mina and Toni Storm were outside, and Luther tried to get in the middle of them, and Mina just crotched him, and he falls over, and then Mina jumps over him to hit Toni, and I'm like, Luther, run away, please. Get in them cowboy boots and run. You are not equipped for this. They are beating your ass, Luther. Get out of there. What else happened in this match? A lot of leg submissions happened to Toni Storm, right? Like, she got put in the figure four for a little bit. We got to a point where Mina tried to hit the Glamorous Driver Mina on Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. We got the big package. Big package did not win the match this time. Toni Storm's number one move did not win. So I was like, oh shit, Toni's gonna lose. There's no way. The big package. But then she hit her actual finishing move, the Storm Zero, and beat Mina. There was a lot of back and forth. The match was really good. A lot of things happened in this match. It was fantastic. Proffitt, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, the match was fantastic, but you know, all right, I'm gonna have to point something out.
Uh-huh.
You know, the gripe I had with Jamie Hayter?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was the opposite with Toni Storm.
What, in a bad way? Like, was she doing it too much,
No,
or were you just
in
happy?
a good way. In a good way.
Okay.
She did the opposite. So, Mina was working her leg the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was Toni doing? She was limping. She couldn't hit certain moves. She was having a hard time hitting moves. Shit, even at the end of the match, she was having a hard time standing up.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, like, that goes, you know, somebody like fucking your leg up the whole time goes a long way showing that you took some type of damage. So yeah, it was, but that's why Toni Storm is one of the best anyway.
Literally one of the best world champions AEW has ever had.
Yeah,
literally.
Right. Period.
Yeah, and I want y'all to, for you listening, I want y'all to listen to that sentence again. One of the best world champions that AEW has ever had. Full stop.
Period.
Yeah, don't add the men's, women's. Toni Storm is one of the best world champions AEW has ever had. It's just,
yeah,
you know. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we got, and this is when we got it was official at this point. Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, All In.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say something else?
Oh no.
Then we only have one more match to talk about.
See, everybody forgot right now, just like I did.
This match was a very good match. It was the trios match between Paragon and Don Callis family. Paragon being Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, and Don Callis family being the big three of the Don Callis family, by the way, quoted by Don Callis: Konosuke Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh gets here like a month ago, and is already the big three of the Don Callis family, because Don knows exactly what he's talking about. God bless. I do not envy all six of these men, because like you already said it, everyone had forgotten about this match. We just had Anarchy in the Arena, and Anarchy in the Arena was insane, right? Like, the crowd was up, and they were active for Anarchy in the Arena. The crowd was getting ready for Ospreay and Hangman. And then this comes on, and you can, I don't think anyone was like upset. I don't think that was a thing, but you could tell people were like, oh snap, we gotta keep going. We got. I'm tired. We gotta try to energize ourselves up. Gotta try to do something. And these six men went out there and did their damnedest, right? They were able to wake up the crowd in the middle of it. And this is not a shot at Arizona, even though I could make it a shot, but I won't. anyone would be tired after that Anarchy in the Arena match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vegas would have stood up, but neither here nor there.
We would have did our thing out here, but it's okay. It's Arizona.
Yeah. Y'all should have whatever. Y'all should have stood. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk too much about the match. There was a point where Lance Archer was also on commentary with Don Callis and the rest of the team, and people were like, "Oh my god, Lance Archer can talk." It's like, yeah, he's always been able
to. He was. If you heard him during the pre-show, like from the pre-show and then when he was talking during the match, it's like, yeah, the dude can talk, and he can talk really, really good.
Yeah, fantastic. He's been fantastic. I don't even know what to talk about from the match. I don't even know how to talk about this from the match, like, because a lot was happening in this match, right? Because they went out there and they tried their damnedest to go balls to the wall. Like there was a point where Josh Alexander got like hit with like a backbreaker on the barricade and fell out into the crowd. Jesus Christ, what else happened? A lot of stuff happened in here. There was a point where I forget who was like being held up, but I think Roddy Strong was like doing something, and then Takeshita just kind of walks into the ring and just destroys him with an elbow.
Because he was doing a submission to somebody.
Yeah.
And then Takeshita just takes his elbow pad off and just wham. It fucks up Roddy.
Yeah, it was Roddy. Yeah. Like it was the match was a fantastic match.
Yes. If you guys have ordered the pay-per-view, just go back and watch that match by itself. It's a fantastic match.
Please take the time to do it, because they were out there wrestling.
Yep.
They were able to get the crowd up again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you know that AEW knew exactly what they were doing with this. Because so we had a win from the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher hit that brainbuster, that stalling brainbuster on Kyle O'Reilly, and got the 1-2-3. I thought he was gonna pin Adam Cole, honestly. Doesn't really matter. We're still gonna get where we're gonna get. Go ahead.
Here's the funny thing. So he hits that brainbuster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Cole, with nobody in front of him, is in the ring on the side. Yep. Like, he's literally been there for like 2 minutes. And then, so Kyle Fletcher hits the brainbuster, he pins, gets the win, but Adam Cole could have ran up and just knocked him off. But he was just like on the side. He was just there on the side. It was kind of weird.
I thought it was just kind of awkward. I thought he was just like, I don't know what I thought, but a lot of people are taking that as like here goes Adam Cole again. That's what people were taking it as. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything. I think it was just like when the cameraman shot the shot, they forgot to take Adam Cole out of it.
Yeah.
Because he was there. He was just sitting there. And it was like, you ain't gonna help your boy over there? He was just sitting there because none of the Don Callis family could have stopped him.
No. I you know what? Headcanon. Adam Cole doesn't want to deal with Kyle Fletcher because he knows that Kyle Fletcher will kill him.
That too.
That's my headcanon. He's afraid. That's how we're gonna get my boy Kyle O'Reilly winning that TNT championship. That's what I want.
Kyle O'Reilly?
Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, Kyle Fletcher winning that TNT championship. Fletcher.
Either Fletcher or Lance Archer.
I have plans for Archer. I want Brian Cage to come back, and I want them to beat the Syndicate for the tag championships.
You're the only logical team to beat the Syndicate.
Yes. I am still angry that we did not get the match. Granted, Brian Cage is hurt, so it makes more sense now. But they could have ran the match, and I'm mad that they didn't. We gotta talk about after the match. So after, and this is what I'm saying. This is how I know AEW knew exactly what they were doing by putting this match here. Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, they get out there and they start attacking Paragon. Right? They're out. Paragon's outnumbered. They're all getting beat up, and then you hear Brody's music. Right? Brody comes out. Ishii comes out. I didn't know Ishii was here. In the States, I didn't know he was here.
Put up the Stone Pitbull symbol. He'll be there.
and then, something that I didn't know. I found out after that he was here. Obviously I found out after. But there was a report that he was here, and I saw that after. But goddamn Hiroshi Tanahashi, President Ace, comes out. And the crowd goes crazy. Like, Donna's here? So they go in there and they clean house. They were able to help Paragon. And they're standing strong in the ring together. Despite the fact that Tanahashi had already done his U.S. retirement. He's supposed to be retired. He's not supposed to be here. But that happened on New Japan, so I guess that doesn't count. So, that was the match. That was the after segment. Profit, what are your thoughts?
Oh, like, everything was great. Shit, I was surprised Tanahashi came out. I was like, what? Tanahashi? Hell yeah.
I know he was here. I didn't know he was here.
At the same time, like, what? Gabe Kidd was out there, so maybe he was out there with Gabe Kidd also. And then they're probably setting stuff up for Forbidden Door.
More than likely.
So, and then he was probably getting the vibe, catching the feeling of AEW and, in the back, and was like, yeah, this is wrestling. But overall, that match was fun. Like, if you guys get a chance, just watch it. Don't watch Anarchy in the Arena first. Just watch that match on its own. It is a fantastic match, and the ending is great too.
It was a fantastic show. I really enjoyed Paragon Don Callis family. And after this, we had Hangman and Ospreay. Again, we talked about that match for 30 minutes. So I don't think we have to go into that again.
Mm-hmm.
But now we are set. We are going to Dynamite. We have 2 matches set for All In, which are both World Championship matches. Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné, and Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley. The rest of the card is going to start shaping up pretty quickly. And we are now officially on the road to AEW's biggest US show, All In.
Yep, All in Texas.
Profit, what were your overall thoughts on Double or Nothing before we wrap this one up?
Oh man, so like we began with, as far as a show as a whole for AEW, all time, I agree with you. I think it's top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, easily. And we're in the top 3, it could be anywhere. But like top to bottom, without like a match that made you go like, it probably shouldn't have had that match here or something like that. No, like all those matches fit and they're all good. So, I mean, if you have the match we just talked about is the so-called cooler match or whatever before you go into the main event, that's how stacked your roster is. This is just ridiculous. So, yeah, overall, fantastic show. If I needed to give it a rating, 9.8 out of 10 or something like that? So, I don't know. Like, yeah, fantastic.
If I had to give it a rating, I say a 9. 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I thought this was easily AEW's best pay-per-view of the year. Like, for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't have a funky ending this year. I think even if Ospreay would have won, we would have had a very happy ending. Well, other than Hangman fans crashing out, but neither here nor there.
Yes.
This was the perfect pay-per-view to lead in to All In and lead into this stretch. There's a lot of things to talk about, right? We could talk about WWE counter programming to try to get people to not watch the show. We can talk about we could talk about the lead in and how the lead into to this pay per view was probably one of the best lead ins that we've gotten in the pay per view for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about how inoffensive Moxley was in here, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Overall, this was definitely like as close to perfect of a pay per view as you can get.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I have any like legitimate gripes.
Man, yeah, by far. And to talk about that counter programming shit, like
Mm-hmm.
all those shows sucked. Like they were fucking terrible. I'm just gonna say that right here, right now. That Saturday night main event, god awful. Um, that TNA pay per view Under Siege, which they showed for free on YouTube, by the way.
The day after, like when
The
you
day
told
after,
me
on
about it,
Saturday.
and
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. It's crazy.
god awful. That is a shit show. TNA is not good anymore. And then they had their NXT PLE or whatever, where the most questionable thing happened. And you, if you're in the wrestling news, you already know the whole Trick Williams beating Joe Hendry for the TNA World Title. That happened over there. Um, just garbage, man. TNA isn't anything now. I see why Ace Austin left just immediately, just as soon as he could, he just left.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see garbage like that. So yeah, man. They tried, and all their shows are horrible. They were terrible. Um, and AEW show is damn near flawless. And all the shows leading up to this point, were pretty much bangers. Like they beat all of those shows that I just talked about by miles. Leaps, bounds, miles, whatever, right? Like it was no contest from the beginning.
Yeah, it was yeah, I don't WWE is doing a lot right now. That's a whole nother podcast because
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of conversation to be had right now about the amount of counter programming WWE has felt like they need to do right now, and the pivot in the perception of like hardcore wrestling fans. That is a whole nother topic, a very good topic of conversation we need to talk about very soon, because this shift that we're seeing right now, I don't think we've ever seen this. Like from a WWE quote unquote hot period, right? Everyone was on WWE talking about how great it was. People were moving over there, people were happening, stuff like that. To their perception now, and what a lot of people who follow WWE are trying to do, and they're re-upping a lot of the negative tribalism that has been that used to happen a lot. Like there's
Mhm.
a lot to talk about there.
Oh yeah. No, I think we'll start off next week with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of a lot of garbage. But you know what? AEW's just been staying the course and doing their thing. WWE is reacting to them. The company that was so called not competition, huh?
Could you
Yeah, I guess they are now,
could you
huh?
did you ever think that it would be this bad? Like
um,
it's crazy right now. Like they're like WWE is buying companies, scheduling a bunch of random shows everywhere, and for the first time ever, it's not working.
yeah, it's not working at all. They're awful. Like the WWE product is not good.
Mm-mm.
And if you're a WWE fan, I'm sorry, but it's not good, right? You and AEW is consistently and constantly putting on solid to like either the show's either solid to fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
and ending with pay-per-views that are you know 9 and 10 out of 10 pay-per-views, right? So AEW is hitting the quality bar, hitting the pro wrestling, by showing pro wrestling. And WWE is just, I don't know what they're doing. Like they're just not good. They went back. They're going back to the 2010 like 2010 2020 Vince era shit, and it's not. It's just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad product, and some people are seeing that and actually watching other wrestling shows, but they're trying real hard to try to discredit AEW, and they can't because AEW is just better.
At this point, yeah. I mean, it's you can't deny it right now, right? Like you would have to be lying to yourself to just not see what WWE is doing right now. And it's been stated about how much AEW has been on a hot streak lately, especially since the going to Max. Like
Yeah.
people have said AEW has been on another level this whole year. So I mean, we'll see what happens. But like you said, that's gonna be a very good conversation for us to have next time once we go back and review this coming up week's Dynamite and Collision.
Yep.
But for now, it's time for us to wrap up.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna go super long this time. Just make sure you're following us on Blue Sky. Follow Proffitt at PROFFITT. Follow the podcast channel at TAGPW Podcast. You can follow me if you want. I wouldn't though because I'm very ADHD and I talk about a lot of random stuff. But definitely make sure you're following all of us. You can talk to us there. Let us know what you think about the episode. Also, if you can't listen to us on YouTube, if you're not on YouTube, if you're one of the few people that aren't there, definitely make sure you listen to us on Spotify. We post this podcast on Spotify every week, so you'll be able to get your wrestling fix from us. You'll be able to listen to a show for AEW fans by AEW fans wherever you go. So make sure you do that. Rate us 5 stars. Do all that kind of good stuff. Get the word of mouth out. Talk to everyone about this podcast. Let them know that there are actually actual AEW fans out here who aren't just happy about Double or Nothing, but have been very positive about AEW as a whole this year. So definitely make sure you do that. Proffitt, tell them about the YouTube.
All right, guys. So the YouTube that you're probably listening to this on. First off, thank you very much if you listened this far. And also, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. First things first, tap that like button if you like what you heard on the podcast. And, that for sure helps us out, helps get the podcast out to many, many other people that have the same taste as you. Also, subscribe, hit the bell button. So whenever whenever this podcast and our other ones go up, you get those and, you get them immediately when they come out. Lastly, I know we hit a lot of topics on here. We'll have the timestamps at the bottom so you can jump back and forth. But if there's anything you want to talk about, hit that comment section. We'll for sure hit you back up. So, once again, hey, we're off the top rope. We are the AEW podcast by actual AEW fans for you guys. So with that, we're going to get out of here. We're out.
Peace.